Is coding hard? Well, it depends. But let me explain. So the reason I said it depends is because it really does. It depends on like a couple of factors that are of, relative importance to you. So let's actually break it into two parts. So are we talking about learning to code or like coding as a career, right? So if we're talking about learning to code, then it'll be about as challenging as learning any new thing. Before you learn it, it will appear challenging. It will feel difficult. It will feel brand new. If you're not necessarily working in like a STEM or a science or like analytical problem solving capacity, or like kind of like a logic based type of role, where like actively applying like logic to scenarios and things like that, it may be a little bit difficult at first, not even gonna lie, just to get yourself conditioned to thinking about like, how do I take a complex problem, break it into individual steps, and then like organize those steps in a way that's meaningful and like makes sense. So that's typically like that's the main thing that gets people, and why they may have a difficulty. The other thing is, unlike other fields, it's one of those things where you're always learning, and you have to like be intentional about that learning more often than not. So it's not like you just did it and you learned. It's like that happens all the time as well, but it's to fulfill this step of the problem, I have to learn this whole completely new concept and then come back and apply it to fulfill the requirements for that step of the problem you broke into pieces. And so those two things are really what trip people up, because you really have to be intentional. Like, you're gonna be using Google a lot, you're gonna be using YouTube a lot. If you're into more so reading the books or about things, like, you're gonna read books a lot. So that is also something that can be abrasive for people. So that's definitely something to consider. Do I think it's uniquely hard to learn how to code as opposed to learning other things? Not really. I think learning a new language is just as hard. I think learning how to play a new sport can be as hard if you want to learn how to play it well. So I think I don't think it's uniquely challenging. I don't think it's any more cognitively dependent on the person than any other things, other things people learn, or other new skills people pick up. So it takes you as long as it takes you, and you'll be comfortable when you become comfortable with your skill and ability in doing it. So that's what I'm gonna say to that. Now, in terms of a job, again, I think it depends. So for me, I had a job where I was writing a lot, and it was like a journalist job almost. I hated it vehemently. It was with a digital marketing company, and I hated the job. It was stressing me out. I was like ready to leave. I was so happy when I started working for them. Like, it was like, I was free. I literally walked out smiling on my last day. So, and that was ridiculously hard to me. It was like I had to write articles, like multiple articles a day, and I was supposed to be able to write them in like 2 hours, and that was just ridiculously hard to me. Now, if you tell me, I got today, to solve a couple programming challenges or programming tasks, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm with it. I'm excited to challenge. I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to take it on. And you know, I'm envisioned about it. I can spend all night doing it. It's whatever. I can do it all day. Like, it's cool. I got energy for it. But you tell me to go write a paper, you lost me.
For me, it's a no for me.
You lost me. So again, doing it as a job, like it really depends on you. If you like to learn and you're okay with being intentional about that learning and, like, you know, upskilling yourself in your spare time and things like that, I think no, it won't really be hard for you. It'll still be challenging. I'm gonna be clear. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, but it will still be challenging. But in terms of like hard to the point where you're like, nah, I don't think I can do this. If you're cool with learning and you got a good company that, you know, is ethical, is not trying to break your back, is not trying to kill you, is not setting no expectation that you're coding like 80 hours a week and a weird thing like that, then I think you'll be fine. You'll be fine. There's nothing you can't handle. It's really not. So, yeah, and I think in terms of like workload, it can be intense sometimes, especially when you're like trying to fix a critical bug that's affecting users that was unexpected. Servers suddenly go down, or here in game development, like crunch is really crazy. But again, I think a lot of that stuff kind of comes back to ethics. But there'll be times where it's like there's like an acute spike in work hours and things like that. But hopefully, ideally, you're at a company where there's systems in place to where that happens as infrequently as possible. And even when it happens, like it's not as sharp. It's not as extreme of a spike, ideally. So those things happen, but you know, it's like any job. Like that can really happen with any job as well. So no, it's not like coding as a job, whether it being a software engineer, whether it being a software developer, whether it be game developer, IT technician, machine learning engineer, data scientist, whatever umbrella coding or programming you're planning to fall in, it's not uniquely hard. You can do it. If you setting the goal, if you believe that you can do it. I'm telling you. Like, I've seen so many people. Like, I follow so many people in tech on Twitter, and that's just like the only people I follow in tech and startups. And it's like literally just seeing story after story of people who are like, yo, like I just changed my career or into coding, and like now I'm making like 80K more, and I never thought I'd be here. People was like, yo, I used to be a veteran, and like now I transitioned into software development. I used to be a teacher, social study teacher, whatever, and now I'm in software development. I used to be an artist, and now I'm in software development. So it's been great seeing how many people transition, and just kind of and it just further reinforces the idea that you can
do it. Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it! Some people dream of success while you're gonna wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not gonna stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it! Just do it! Yes, you can! Just do it! If you're tired of starting over,